Hi everybody, I am Damien Osborne and I'm a fine artist from South Africa, and the title of today's video is A Painting is Not Just a Picture. What makes art good? As I mentioned before, what constitutes as good art is a very subjective topic. One could spend their whole life reading and writing about it. That's why we have art critics. Art is both a visual and intellectual aesthetic. So it's an oversimplification to call this good and that bad. It means you actually haven't paid any attention. You need parameters, and all reactions to art are inherently biased. You might like this piece or hate that one, or feel nothing about another. It's difficult to give merit or fault something based on subjective feelings. But Suzanne says, a work of art that does not begin in emotion is not art. All I know is what I like and what I don't like, what moves me and what doesn't, and nobody can tell me I'm right or wrong. Although through them educating me, I might appreciate or understand an artwork better. And likewise, I can never convince my wife, say, how marvelous is the abstract impressionism of Spencer Gore or Pierre Bonnard. To her, they look like children's paintings. Well, I don't think any period or art revolution was a digression in any way. I think all trends are necessary and part of the evolutionary process. Beau Bartlett, the American realist painter, says, "Art is meant to wake us up." There is a place for representational as well as for abstraction. All art is really abstract in any case. We can all tell the difference between reality and a painting. You can see here the progression from representational to abstraction in Mondrian, and I also added Kandinsky. But eventually art trends stagnate and the zeitgeist changes, and it seems to happen in cycles where a new wave cleanses the old. For the past 100 years or so, since modern art developed a distaste for anything representational and turned more to abstract and non-objective art, much of the skill and knowledge of the old master methods was lost. I've heard so many sad stories of students and lecturers at most fine art universities across the world being unable to paint or draw to save their lives. It just isn't really taught anymore, and the amount of debt these poor students land in is staggering. Just to be able to cut out collages with a pair of scissors, call found objects art, dress up and hang installations, and basically learn to BS. But what we call modern or contemporary art, in the style that we associate with it today, is really outdated. It sounds weird to say post-contemporary, since if you're watching this, you're in the present, and therefore you're contemporary. And explaining the post-contemporary movement is a bit beyond the scope of this video. But suffice it to say that artists are once again concerned with the quality and the meaning of their work, and are drawing on the traditional knowledge of the old masters to take contemporary art forward. There is a resurgence of representational art, and in this age of information sharing, it's much easier to gain access to the lost knowledge of the old masters, from Cimabue to Delacroix, and the techniques and the materials that they used. But good art is more than just technical brilliance, and it can be more than just vapid decoration. It is saying something. The travails of painting. A painting is an act of love. It's a breath of the artist in every stroke. It takes a great deal of patience and concentration to see a painting through. Art is damned hard work. There seems to be this prevailing view that being an artist means not having a real job, that painting for 8 to 12 hours a day is just spending too much time on a hobby. But I'm grateful to be a full-time artist. It may be difficult, but it is very fulfilling. Art is a lifelong pursuit and often a very lonely journey. Artists spend long hours alone in the studio, mastering their craft over many, many years, and there's never any guarantee that there'll be a financial success. Artists have to be extremely driven individuals, and they are driven by more than wanting to make money from their craft. They want to be the best. When I paint my best, I do so in the hope that it'll inspire someone else to give of their best creatively too. There's no skiving or shortcuts when you're an artist. They have to be self-starters, and they are basically entrepreneurs who are running a business. So the next time you see a painting that you like, don't bother asking the question every artist hates. How long did it take you to paint this? Yes, the painting may have taken a month or about 40 to 50 hours. But what about all the years of study and practice, experimenting, screw-ups and breakthroughs that it took to get to this point, which has materialized as a painting? My wife tells me, though, that I should be more patient, and that is how non-artists try to engage with the artist. It's always important to listen to your wife. They say it takes a brave soul to begin, but usually I find the painting begins before I've realized it. There's no sitting around waiting for inspiration to strike. The inspiration usually only happens when I'm nearing the end of the painting and I start seeing things that I never could have guessed at. Then it's time for the next painting, where hopefully I'll be able to realize and bring into existence what inspired me in the former. An oil painting on canvas is more than just layers of pigment and materials. For me, paint has a kind of magical quality. The pigments and oils are like the ingredients of the alchemists, and as imbued with history and mystique. And the artist's knowledge of his or her materials and the way they react physically and chemically is just as important as developing technical skill. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody, and please stay tuned for part 2 of this video, where I'll be talking more about why art is vital and why we need art, and I'll also be working on this painting here behind me. So please subscribe to the channel and send me a message, say hi. Cheers.